Pop opera.
Shalom everyone, I hope you're all doing very, very well. I am so excited for this video that we're going to be making today. This is going to be particularly special for those of you who enjoyed my Opal analysis. We are going to be doing a deep dive and a philosophical analysis of Shop a Pop Opera by Jack Stauber. And this is going to be a shout out to the one and only @EmmaAgain, as this was the person who actually recommended in the comment section of my Jack Stauber video for Opal that I do an analysis on this one. And so we are finally here. I hope that you guys enjoy, and without further ado, here we go.
Sir? Are you alright?
Don't overthink it, man. Just take one. Oh, yeah. No, thanks. I think I'll just come back for it.
Okay, so a very good moment here. We realize that this character, we'll call him the protagonist for now, we realize that he's struggling with some sort of indecisiveness. I think that's going to be very important for the general theme going forward.
Okay, first things first is milk. Milk. Milk go, Bill.
Pecan!
Huh? Oh!
Pecan!
You want pecan cookies?
Pecan!
I'll grab you some pecan cookies.
These aren't pecan.
So if we take a good notice, and this is going to be the following theme as we continue watching, is we have to look at all of these characters whom Jeff encounters, and we have to ask ourselves, why do they take the artistic approach that Jack Stauber goes about in how that relates to the items that's being applied by this protagonist. So we see this elderly woman, and we could argue that she kind of looks like a milk carton. That's not even to roast her or anything, but I think it's very relevant because this seems to be an artistic theme that plays throughout the film.
And I said pecan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What are you, deaf?
I'm not deaf.
Huh?
I said I'm not deaf.
Nice to meet you, Jeff. Can you grab me the cookies I actually asked for?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, sorry.
I've never even had this kind before.
You should try it. They're pretty good.
I'll try them some other time.
Here you go. Oh. Where'd she go?
Very interesting here. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. But I think there's some correlation that could be made between the fact that the old lady is looking for cookies, but she is what is to be correlated with the milk that Jeff, who will be calling the main protagonist, is looking for. So what is that connection, and what does that mean philosophically speaking as it relates to the film? But he looks away for one moment, he turns back and she's gone, and I believe that that is referring to the shocking notion of mortality because of everyday life. Literally, you could just have seen someone and then the next moment they're gone, and it's such a sad reality. And it's why we shouldn't take the presence of others for granted. And then that brings some interesting thought to the idea of not crying over spilled milk, because mortality is something that's going to happen anyway. So the somewhat pseudo-logical idea is like, oh, we'll just, get over it. It's just a process of life, etc. But it is something worth shedding a tear over, because your presence is what gave you your social footprint in the world, like this old elderly lady, let's say.
Alright, milk's done. Next up... Wait, this milk is expired. Expired.
Very clever writing here. So you could argue that the old lady expired at that point in time, and that's very interesting as we listen to the song, and we'll loop that back again.
Expire. What kind of milk were you? What kind of life did you live through? Did you know love? Will you rest in peace? Did you ever believe? How was the view from the show? Did you ever believe in yourself?
It's good to take note that all of these questions that are being asking within these lyrics are being asked after the death or after the fact, when these are sort of, this is a chance for you to reach out to loved ones, etc., while they're still here, rather than being too late and then they're gone and then you're left with these questions that leave an empty void because of their lack of presence.
What kind of milk were you? Did you like to reach with calcium? Did they laugh at you? Or did you laugh with them? Very beloved, your days are gone. The grocery list goes on.
Very Beloved is very
here's a new
tastefully
one.
done.
Artisanal multigrain 12-nut vitamin bread.
Pardon my reach.
That's a very interesting bread.
Thank you.
Right off the bat, it's very interesting to think here. We don't know what this man really is, if we can call him a man. You see, with the old lady, we can say that she's a human, but he's turned into something that's not quite human. He looks like artisanal bread. And that is to say that when you rely too much on the things that you purchase or the things that you subscribe to identify you, you lose a part of yourself in that process, and now no one can identify you for being you, but as a person to hop on a particular bandwagon. And that is not what you do. That's not what you want to be. Don't be artisanal bread. Be artisanal.
Is it like good sandwich bread? Or?
This is for my dog.
What?
I get my bread from Ronzanto's. He makes the only edible bread in town, really.
Was your dog artisanally bred?
No, I said he eats it.
10 out of
Are you
10 joke.
deaf? I simply must be going. There's an antique walnut auction downtown, and I must find something mid-century.
Artisanal.
Artisanal. Artisanal.
I could live in an artisanal house with an artisanal wife, drive an artisanal car, live an artisanal life. It'd be a treat.
This is my well, no, I was gonna say. Anyways, this is my second favorite song in the whole. I think this actually is considered an album. In the whole album, this is my second favorite song. I like this. It's delving into the idea of what it means to be authentic.
To see what people think of me, dressed to the 9th degree, sipping artisanal tea. What's an artisanal me? What do my clothes and panties stop then? Which ones are my artisanal friends? What's an artisanal me? Do I impress you with me?
And see, that's another aspect of it too. When you're not your artisanal self, and for those of you that aren't following, artisanal simply means natural or traditional or organic, the original of something, if you will. If you are not your original self, if you're not your artisanal self, you will not know the artisanal you, and subsequently you will not know your artisanal friends. You won't even know your artisanal family. You won't begin to fit in anywhere, because if you do fit in somewhere, it's not you who's fitting in. It's this archetypal structure that you've cultivated for the need to fit in into a specific demographic. That's not desirable. At least not in my experience. So, what's an artisanal me? That's a very, very important question that I preach all the time that you should ask yourselves. As far as my philosophy goes, is there's massive and immense value and importance in introspection. So take that exercise. What is an artisanal you? Are you living your artisanal self? Do you act differently? And I don't mean by that you're acting differently in a formal setting, you're being more formal, therefore you're acting different, therefore you are fake. That's not true. That's nonsense. What I mean is, are you being true to yourself within every endeavor of your humanity? That's what you should ask yourself, honestly. And if the answer is no in any aspect of your existence, then that is something that you should check. Okay.
I dress you made this, can I hide behind your success? Or is it excess when I talk less and I let things talk for me? Listen when they go away and...
Very, very, very beautiful writing there. Can I hide behind your success? Of course, hiding behind your success is the success of a product or a person or an entity or anything that you can hide behind to allow it to illustrate the fiber of your being, which is impossible, by the way. So is it excess? Oh no, can I hide behind your success, or is it excess, which means too much of something, when I talk less and I let my things talk for me? In other words, is it too much when I allow the things that encompass my surroundings to project what I identify with? Is that too much? And the answer is yes. Now, of course, there's a certain degree, moderation in everything, You can be like me. I am a big fan of fountain pens, right? In fact, I can't go back to ballpoint pens because I love fountain pens so much. So you might have your own predisposed thoughts as you think, oh, this guy uses fountain pens. You start creating what you think I am to be because of the things that I do and the things that I possess. That's fine. That's human nature. We are to make assumptions of things because that's how we remain sane. However, it's not ideal to allow that to be the foundation of your personality.
My own again.
Very, very
Alright,
deep
this looks
song.
decent.
I love that.
Alright, next thing is paper towels.
Any luck, babe?
Sorry, babe. Doesn't look like there's any vegan hot dog buns back here either.
Babe!
Whoa. Did
Oh.
you just break that?
No.
Ow.
Oh, jeez, are you okay?
Yeah.
You're bleeding.
Okay.
Don't worry, it's just mine.
Where are the paper
This glass.
Okay, so we see here, this is a perfect shot here, this person, this character, looks like a literal paper towel roll. You can even see like the dotted line, the dotted lines indicating where you tear the paper towel. You can see that on the far left of his, well, it'll probably be mirrored for you, so the far right of his face. That's really interesting. So what I like to do when we get to this part of the video is we need to pay very, very close attention to what he says, because it's my belief that he's speaking from he's essentially an anthropomorphic paper towel roll, if that makes sense. In other words, he is giving a human voice to the object that is a roll of paper towels. So, let's see.
Shattered instantly. But it would take someone like you or me days.
Okay, so right here, he says, he cuts his finger, and Jeff asks him, oh, are you okay? And he's like, don't worry, it's just mine. And I think this is somewhat... It's something to do with the idea of like, okay, well, paper towels, you don't really care about using a paper towel to clean up a mess. You don't take the time to ask yourself, is the paper towel okay? And part of that, of course, is because it's an inanimate object. But the other part is it's doing its job. A paper towel's job is to get messy, it gets messy in order to take away the mess. If that makes sense, if you catch my drift. And so that's essentially what he's doing. And then you might look at this like, oh, well, he's obviously emo, so it's like, don't worry, it's just mine. It's like, I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. Okay, so let's continue. Let me know what you think in the comment section.
Maybe weeks to put it back together to how it was, and still, it will never be the same. Same with my finger. Open in a second, but it takes days to heal. And the more of them that you use, the bigger the mess you make.
It's irreversible, unraveling indestructible.
See, like, and this is where I really want the comments to open up, because I'm still, to this day, I'm still really stuck on all the things that he's saying. Like, we do know that it is okay to make messes, and that messes are inevitable. But this character is honing in on the somewhat depressing side of what it is to make a mess, even though he is the one who cleans it up. So, I don't know, but let's listen to these lyrics.
Can I contain this non-stop endless spreading me?
And see, that's a very important question. How can I contain this non-stop endless spreading bane? Well, the answer is you don't. You can't contain it. And that's what a lot of people think, or at least attempt to do in their lives. And that's it's a very wrong approach to life. Because there's always going to be something. There's always going to be a tinge of chaos that illuminates within the confines of order. And you have to deal with that as a successful human being. A successful human being is not going to say, oh, my life is void of any sort of trouble that can come my way because I have everything under control. No, it's not the case. You need mess in order to appreciate the clean, and you need mess to know how to clean. Let's continue.
Rolling out over time. Can I put a hold on mine? Again, there's a break in the
See, so we have the infinity sign, and he talks about how mess is rolling out over time. That is to say that it's rolling out non-stop, because time is what makes things inevitable. When you think about infinity, infinity is the guarantee of every possible occurrence that could possibly happen. And so mess is within that. It just is, and you can't avoid it. To avoid it would be folly, and wisdom would be trying to figure out how to deal with it when it comes, not if, when it comes. And infinity, the symbol for infinity, it's a figure 8. It is perfection. It is equal, right? But there's a break in the chain, as he put it, and it's beautiful how he words it, because it's like, yes, infinity, perfection. I go round and round, but there's a break here. And now, do you think everything falls apart because there's a break in the chain? No. You need to push past that. You need to smooth over the bumps in the road, let's say, and then you continue until it happens again, and you repeat this process. And this process, of course, is called life. Because if you don't do this, then people are going to start asking, what kind of milk were you?
There you go.
Jack Stauber is just so creative.
Downside to mass producing these.
So creative. Right, so he uses the washable towel instead of using the disposable paper towel. I think that's because of the notion that with paper towels, yes, it's disposable, so it's like, oh, I'll only need to use this once, and then I just throw it away. And then I'll just keep on doing that. But I think there's a tinge of wisdom in what Jeff is doing when he gets a washable drag, because it's like, this is something that, as he said, there's no downside to mass producing this, because there's always going to be a mess to clean. So, why not have something that can be used over and over again in that infinite loop of breakage. Okay, so we're going to cut it off here. I'm going to leave this as a cliffhanger for next week. So we have gone over milk, bread, and paper towels. I almost went over the oatmeal, but we're going to stop though, because I want to break this into 2 videos equally. So I really like how this is going. Thank you all for tuning in. I will see you all next week for the next half of this. And yes, I hope that you like, subscribe, comment, share, all of that jazz. Thank you so much again for all the love that I've been receiving on this channel. It is immaculate to me. So I will, yes, again, I bid thee farewell. The scripture of the week is Psalms chapter 28 and verse 7. This is not the King James Version. It says, "The Most High is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in him, and he helps me." I hope that brings some edification to the body as usual. I hope that you guys stay safe. Stay safe. Wait. Wow. I hope you guys stay safe, stay dangerous, and as always, be wise. Shalom.